Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Block Party number 96, our 96 24-hour collective intelligence block party. And we're 3 days away from our 2-year anniversary. We started on Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2020, essentially right before the pandemic became widespread news. And in fact, I learned about the pandemic from a gentleman in New Zealand during that first block party. So anyway, we are at the Food Healer segment, and a warm, loving welcome to my queen, Melissa, here in the same house as me. Hey, sweetheart, thanks so much for joining us. All right. So we are in the Food Healer segment, and as I traditionally do, I'm going to pass the talking feather to Silas to say hello and give us updates, and then we'll be talking in a very focused way about Los Angeles, which is coming up, and the upcoming events in Los Angeles, and the opportunity to transform Los Angeles into the world's first compassionate metropolis. Which has us all very excited. I'll be heading down to Los Angeles, leaving early Tuesday morning, so I can be there for the Thursday press conference on the steps of City Hall, and followed by Saturday feeding event on Saturday, February 19th at Pan Pacific Park, followed by 2 subsequent Saturday feeding events in probably Santa Monica. We'll talk more about that. So I'll be there for all 4 of those events, and probably others. In fact, I have a feeling I'm going to like it on the steps of City Hall. So I'll probably be there more than once. And we can do regular press conferences as well. I mean, what could possibly be more important than transforming our world into a compassionate world, which is where we all want to be anyway, right? And since I have the talking feather, I'll pass you the feather in a minute, Silas, because I know you got good stuff to say. But it's like we're all at this party, right? And everything's great, except the record player keeps skipping. Ba-junk, ba-junk, ba-junk. Nobody's happy. Let's face it, nobody is happy with the current situation, right? There's a heck of a lot less happiness in the world today than there was a couple 100,000 years ago. Certainly for the animals, for the ecosystems, for the pollinators, for everyone, for us humans. So none of us are happy, and we know we need to fix it. And now is our opportunity to fix it. That's the one thing that really makes me happy, is that we have the opportunity to fix this now. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Fix-It himself. I just made that up. He doesn't call himself that. Dr. Silas Rao. We love you, Silas, brother. Welcome, and take it away.
Thank you. I'm really looking forward to the Thursday that's coming up. And so I also want to announce on that day, the Food Healers Day initiative, which is on that day, we want to eradicate hunger worldwide. And it will be November 19th, 2022. So we estimated that we need to serve 1 billion meals worldwide on that day. 1 billion universal stew meals. And assuming 1,000 meals per station, that's about 1 million stations we need to be manning on that day. So that requires a lot of organization. So when I did all the calculations, I got really worried. And so I called up my son, who works on logistics, and see if he would help me out. And he said, sure. And he jumped. He actually quit his job. He's joining this full time, because it is a full-time job, clearly. And the good news is, when I speak about this idea, people have said, I'm in so far. So I have someone from St. Louis saying, okay, I'm going to take care of my zip code. So that's 1,000 meals on that zip code. So we estimate there are 40,000 zip codes plus 41,000 zip codes in the US alone. And there are about 40 million people who are going hungry in the US, so which means each zip code should be serving about 1,000 meals on that day. and on average. So of course, some zip codes you'll need less meals, and some zip codes you'll need more meals. So whatever it is, there's a lot of logistics that need to happen. And there are obviously places in the world where we won't have food. So it means you have to get food to them. And November 19th happens to be the day after COP27 ends. So COP27 in Egypt will be from November 7th through 18th. And I'm sure they're going to be talking about the usual stuff, and during that time, we can be organizing. And the day after the COP27 ends, we're going to eradicate hunger. That's the goal. So we'll see. We want to put that intention out there and see what happens and do our damnedest to make it happen, because this is the people of the world coming together to do it. So even if you say it's 50 cents a meal, that's about $500 million worth of charity that's happening on that day. Okay, that's the goal. Now, that's one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is, we are anyway eating like 7 billion meals 3 times a day. So what's the big deal in making it 8 billion meals for one meal? Okay. And feed all our fellow human beings with healthy food, so that at least on that day, let's eradicate hunger. Let's make a start. Then once we do that, we can do it once a month, we can do it once a week, we can get it going. Okay, so it's going to be that's just the beginning. So let's get it started. Let's get that going. And I'm looking forward to the press conference on Thursday. I'll be there in Los Angeles. So thank you very much for arranging all that. And I think the steps of City Hall is a great place to do this. There's a nice park outside, and I've spoken there before. So I'm happy to come there and speak again. Thank you.
Tell us about that, Silas. Tell us about speaking at City Hall, on the steps of City Hall, or was it where you spoke?
Yeah, I spoke there. I know Ellen Dent also spoke there, and Genesis Butler spoke there at that time. And so we all were talking about veganism and vegan food. And so we had I remember they had a mic and a speaker, and there's a park right outside City Hall. And there are steps, and of course it looks grandiose. So, but we just stand on the steps and we spoke, and the press came and covered it. So I think it's a good place to do it. Yeah, I have another meeting at 9 o'clock, so I have about 40 minutes. I'll be here. So
awesome.
With that, I'm complete. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And welcome, Akil. Akil is here. Akil, welcome. Welcome to Food Healers and the Block Party. And a couple folks have their hands up. We are recording. Looks like Michael, followed by Marco, followed by Sarah. Go for it, Michael.
Oh, that's so inspiring, Dr. Rao, and thank you all. I would like to volunteer to cover 48203.
Awesome.
And we're going to need 1,000. That's Detroit, Michigan, just south of the Michigan State Fairgrounds.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. We have the building to operate out of. I'll put that in the address for that in the chat box. Our kitchen, we have a working kitchen to work out of. Thank you.
Yeah, I have just a quick technical question. When I went to look for the address for Los Angeles City Hall, I found there are 3 Los Angeles City Halls. Which one is going to be the one we're using?
I'll tell you what, let's just, whenever someone has an opportunity to put that in the chat, we'll get that into the chat and then into the official text. So we can take that offline, but as soon as you have it, please put it in the chat. Whoever finds it first. And thanks for that, Marco. And Sarah, sister, go for it. You're muted, Sarah.
Hey, everybody. How are you this morning? I just wanted to let you know that Chef Annie and I are going to be on 1:15 tomorrow Pacific time on Unchained TV with Lindsay Baker. She's got her own show, and I'm going to try to showcase Annie, but I want to do food healers also. And if anybody wants to help with that, just let me know. I'd like to ask somebody to help with screen sharing, or I'm not sure. It's going to be on StreamYard, which is a way to simulcast. So it goes out to Twitter, YouTube channel. It goes out to Facebook. So if you guys are around tomorrow and you're at Pacific time, that would be 4:15 for you. Or just, add the hours, look it up and stuff. But I appreciate you guys supporting us, because we're actually doing the show in the middle of the day, which is 1:15 for us. And we have several other demos to do that we're not able to go to, unfortunately, because of that reason. So it just happened to be that. So we just need some support, and we want to make sure that we get all the facts straight and let people know about the events and just everything that's going on with food healers. And that's about it. I just wanted to give you guys the update. And I also wanted to know if you talked to Cesar about coming to the press conference and everything like that, because he's got the plant-based treaty and he's always coming to food healers. So I definitely want to support Cesar. And also, when you come, Jamin, I want to bring you down to one of the vigils that Cesar has on Wednesday nights. Not the first Wednesday, obviously. But the second Wednesday or one of the Sundays, I want you to meet the people from Animal Save and just everybody around Los Angeles. We can get more people to do food healers, because the whole idea is to get every zip code. And we want to there's so many vegan activists that live all over LA in thousands of zip codes, literally, that we can fill this need with these people. We just have to, most people don't even know about food healers. And so I'm inviting more people. That's why I'm going to the demo on Saturday, February 19th, the day of our next event, our feeding event. However, we're coming straight after that. We'll probably leave early and come down. So we'll have people coming from that demo down to food healers. And that's how you get people to collaborate. And that's how we start feeding more people at different locations. So thank you, everyone. I just wanted to pop in and just say that I'll just be off camera, but I'm still here.
Awesome, Sarah. Thank you. Thank you. Well, let's definitely coordinate over the course of today and tomorrow morning to make sure we have all the talking points for you to broadcast on Jane Unchained TV. That's absolutely huge. And so let's start an email thread.
And let's get in the habit of calling it's Unchained TV.
Oh, thank you.
And if you aren't already, if you guys could hold up your phones or your devices and actually download the app, it's a red app, and you just go to your app store. I had a lot of activists type it in the other day that didn't know about it at a meetup, and actually got 3 volunteers from there to come up to food healers in Santa Monica for February 26th, because they live closer to Orange County. But if you just type in Unchained TV into your device, you can do it on Roku, Fire Stick, Apple, phone, iPhone, iPad, tablet. You just download that app. That's the best thing that you could do right now for Jane, is help her with her Unchained launch. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Jamin, for doing that. Because this is the now vegan network that all of the documentaries are on, Dr. Rao's documentaries, of course, and everyone else's, and everything. That's where everything is. And that's where we should focus on putting as much content. Thank you.
Question, is that for Android user? Is that on the Google Play store?
You can ask Jamin, because I don't think he has.
Yeah, it's on Google Play as well. I have it on Google Play. Allowed it.
Okay, you guys, okay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you all, everyone. And I'm really looking forward to this food healers. I think it's going to be great with Jamin coming down. And then we're also going to need to address the free food, how we're going to get people to come to the tent. We have 2 tents, but we definitely want to use all those free food signs since we already have them. And Jamin Cesar suggested getting a neon orange. However, I'm going to let you decide that when you arrive here.
Beautiful, Sarah. Thank you. Awesome. Wonderful. My queen Melissa has her hand up, followed by Jamin. Take it away, sweetheart.
Thanks, Jamin. Yeah, I just wanted to mention that Jamin and I are working on this project here on Whidbey, and it's going to become a community garden. And we're going to be working with this awesome guy who's a local islander who's been working on an organic farm for a while. He's going to help us develop a really beautiful garden that's not only food for humans, but food for pollinators and animals. We're going to really make it this beautiful sanctuary. And we're going to have educational programs about all kinds of things for children and the community. We're also going to have like poetry slams, so start introducing the arts in through the garden. And we're about to start launching it this spring. So I'm thinking, Silas, for your November 19th, which what might be really wonderful is once we've got this garden sort of going, I mean, it's going to take a while because it's just wild land right now. We've got a 1/4 acre to work on. It would be really fun to harvest the first vegetables and offer it to the community, to feed the community here on the island. One of the ideas Jamin had was to create the smoothies, vegetable smoothies, and offer it at the local farmers market to people for free. So I just wanted to put that out there. And also I think in Seattle, there are people we could reach out to, including Carol Jamin, Roshana, who's working on a beautiful housing project for people of color. And I think that we could maybe through her organization get some food activity happening on that date as well, in the Seattle area, possibly. Thank you.
I love it. Love everything you're saying, sweetheart. Thank you so much. In fact, since you mentioned Carol Roshana and who is a person of color and people of color that she's serving, it reminds me of Vegans of Color, which is my favorite show that we've had on the Block Party, and we need to revive that. And we need to reach all communities all around the world, as Silas mentioned. And with Los Angeles as serving as a sort of an epicenter, building off of the wonderful leadership that Sarah and friends have brought to Los Angeles. And given that Los Angeles is the media capital of the world, so, different from Las Vegas, what happens in Los Angeles does not stay in Los Angeles, right? It goes to the world. And that's the whole idea. And that's going to be part of our rallying cry. In fact, I proposed to Molly Baszler and Andre Charles, her campaign consultant, that they use the words, "We are Los Angeles," inspiring Los Angeles to greatness. And what greater thing could Los Angeles possibly do right now? Like, let's take this to its logical conclusion. Silas is taking food healers, Love All, Feed All, Go Dharmic to its logical conclusion, saying, let's feed everyone. Boom, right? You can't go any further than that. What are you gonna do, like overfeed everyone? We've got enough obesity problems. So yeah, I'm just saying that there's no, that is it. That's the Mount Everest of feeding everyone. So let's build off this theme of taking it to its logical conclusion. Taking Los Angeles to its logical conclusion equates, in my mind and heart, and I'd love to hear from everyone on this, it equates to transforming Los Angeles into the world's first compassionate metropolis. In other words, it's not enough for us that everyone in Los Angeles is eating if half the people are eating meat, right? That's not enough. We need to go all the way to full compassion. No more killing, no more cruelty. And in terms of a compassionate metropolis, what would that look like? Well, there's two main dimensions that I think about, or groups of dimensions. One is human needs, the other is the needs of Mother Earth. In terms of human needs, let's make all basic human needs basic human rights, starting with food, followed by shelter, healthcare, transportation, other basic human needs, access to information, libraries, books, internet, etc., community, open space, and a right to meaningful work, whether these are volunteer opportunities or whatever, but completely volunteer, nothing compulsory or anything like that. Or I mean, what I really mean to say, obviously not compulsory, but what I mean to say is you don't need to work in order to eat, right? People, wherever they're coming from, the first thing is to meet their needs, their basic human needs. But some people need to work and want to work. We need to give people these opportunities, whether it's volunteering in community gardens or volunteering at the food healers events, etc., preparing food, distributing food, etc. So that's on the human side. On the Mother Earth side, it just so happens that of the two most important things we can do for Mother Earth, one of them is love all, feed all, because that's the fastest way to transition the world to a completely plant-based diet. And the other is solar radiation management. As you can see in Marco's image there on the screen with the red and white sailing vessels on the blue ocean, those vessels are concepts that we need to get implemented at planetary scale, about 1,000 vessels, ASAP, spraying ocean water into the air in fine mist droplets, creating bright white clouds to reflect sunlight back into space. Los Angeles can take the lead on that too. Los Angeles can take the lead on so many things, put it all together, and that equates to Los Angeles as the world's first compassionate metropolis. And BJ sister, welcome, and welcome James, welcome everybody. We've been kind of talking away here, so I haven't had an opportunity to welcome everyone to block party number 96. Marco, I'll let you handle the waiting room since you do it so well. And with that, I'm going to pass the talking feather. Love to hear everyone's thoughts, and with priority to Silas, who's here until the top of the hour. And welcome Akil. Welcome. Want to also give Akil an opportunity to speak. So let's keep it flowing. Michael has his hand up. Just raise your hand when you're ready to speak. Passing the feather. Go for it, Michael.
Melissa, ask and you shall receive. Here's 14 packs of seeds I'll be sending out by regular post to the post office box. Early spring seeds. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. We'll look forward to planting those. We'll film us planting them and send it to you. Love you, man. Thank you. Made my day.
All right. Well, I'd love to hear Silas's thoughts on Compassionate Metropolis. I mean, it's like, it's time to go big or go home, right? And one quick comment I'll make is in Glasgow, Silas and I, and James, and Alan, and Jamie, and Carl, and many other colleagues from England, we were all there at COP26 in Glasgow, which other than the work that we were doing and some other activists outside, was not COP26, it was FLOP 26. But since we went out there with the giant inflatable animals, the cowintheroom.org, Darth Vader, the music, the singing, the dancing, everything, we got massive media coverage and gobs of attention. They did a great article in The Guardian about Silas and his work and a vegan world. Now the New York Times has picked up the story recently in the last 10 days or so. So it works. Going big works. And just putting ourselves out there and saying, you know, we're doing this and this is what this is, and we're getting there together. So Silas has unmuted, and then followed by BJ. Go for it, Silas.
Now, I was going to ask BJ to go ahead and ask the question directly because she sent me a direct message. I was going to answer that. Go ahead, BJ.
Oh, okay. I will do. Well, let's see. A couple of nights ago, I was at a UUAM meeting, and we're planning a fundraiser for the fall. We had a meeting to see if we wanted to go ahead with it because we know things are changing and what should we do. And they wanted it to be in November, and so they've already picked their dates. Okay, they've picked their dates. And then one of them was saying that in her experience, you need to have before you announce your fundraiser, you need to have your website ready to go so that people can sign in right when they hear about it or whatever. And so I wondered if this was the place to ask about when we're going to meet. Are we going to have regular meetings? And those are a couple of the questions that I had. And so anyway, and I'm all excited about it too. So thank you, Dr. Rao.
Yeah, thank you, BJ. Yeah, absolutely. We are looking at what are the collaterals we need on the website. We need a map. We need a way to go from a zip code entry to a map directly because we don't want to be entering a million things by hand, So because I estimate there'll be 1 million zip codes that people are going to volunteer for. So it needs to be automatic. So we're looking at what is the service we need to be buying from. And so Akhil has been looking into that, and he found something else last night that looks really promising. Okay, so we will add that. We probably have to create a separate website for food healers. This is why we are saying, give us a few days until Thursday. So we want to get it done by the time we have the press conference on Thursday. We need the foodhealers.org website up and ready and running. Okay, that's our goal. Right now, it's just a page on Climate Healers. We'll probably make it a separate website. I'll probably do it on Squarespace, which is the easiest, But yeah, those are the things we need. We need a form on it so people can sign up. Because as soon as they talk about it, people are saying, sign me up. I'm here. I'll take this zip code. It's amazing what's happening. I'm just so blown away by the response of the community so far. So we have to get our act together before we announce, because I think there's going to be a deluge.
Beautiful. I love it. Love it. Now, Stephanie is engaged on working on the Food Healers website, and she's very engaged on the website building for this whole movement period. So since she's already engaged, just email any requests. Hey, Stephanie, please, we need this, that, whatever.
I asked her if she could do like a microsite on Climate Healers for foodhealers.org. And then I'll send her the link to the ZMaps and see if she can incorporate ZMaps into it along with a form, and have the form, as soon as we authenticate someone who has entered a form, authenticate them by sending an email to them and getting the double buy-in. And then it needs to go on the map automatically. So that's what she needs to do. So I'll write it up and send it to Stephanie and see if she can do that. If not, we'll have to just do it on Squarespace. It may be a lot of coding on WordPress, but we'll see what she says.
Very good, very good. And please copy me and anyone else who wants to participate on the website front. So we can all have that ongoing.
And as far as the other question, BJ, as to whether there's going to be a working group on the November 19th project, yes, there's a working group on the November 19th project, and there will be. And we are going to be meeting here in the Food Healers segment. So this is going to be our regular meeting, and we'll be coming, I'll be coming twice. So I'll be here in the evening as well. Okay. So we can sort things out, and, because there are going to be people from around the world who are volunteering. So I need to have the space open for them. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful, Silas. Love it. All right. Marco has his hand up, followed by BJ, followed by Jamin. Go for it, Marco.
Yeah, actually, you answered a lot of the logistical questions I had already. Silas, so that was awesome. The one other thing I just want to backtrack a little bit, when Jane was talking about the basic human rights and making food, shelter, but that right to work, the important part of that is meaningful work, because there's lots of work to be done and people are going, crazy doing mindless, horrible things they don't like to do. There is no reason with the level of technology we have right now that any monotonous or dangerous job can't be automated so that people can just do meaningful work. And this sounds like we're taking that taking that challenge on. So this is
Yeah.
amazing.
We are shaking that tree, the apple tree, not the bull by the horns, right? So,
Yeah, I stopped just short of that. I'm getting out of those habits.
All right, beautiful. BJ, go for it.
Thank you. And thank you, Marco. That's one of the thoughts that I have been having this morning, and that is about food and housing. Those are free. That's where my mind went. And they're not. You still have to work for the food. I mean, food doesn't just grow on trees. Oh, wait, it does. But anyway, housing doesn't just grow on trees. And working with a farmer out here who provides the immune boosters foods, he's asked, do you know anybody who's willing to come and work with me? Well, people are too busy or they're not interested. So it is a lot of work for the farmers when you're bending over and gathering vegetables, when you're having to plant and carry big old trees, and it's a lot of work building things. So I don't want to say that there's no work to be done. There's, like you said, Marco, gratifying work. There are projects to do, to volunteer for. Anyway, it's an interesting dilemma talking about work, which means those jobs that you have to go to, and the work to be done to make transform a world. So those were my thoughts. Thanks. And thank you, Dr. Ralph, for answering those questions.
Beautiful. Thank you, BJ. So one of the things I'm inspired to do for us to communicate in Los Angeles, because I really think we're going to start a major fire, metaphorically, in Los Angeles. But one of the questions is, hey, Los Angeles, we're doing this worldwide. We're just getting it started. We are offering for Los Angeles to be the epicenter and the leader of this and the showcase for the world. Los Angeles, do you accept, right? In fact, let's get on our knees, literally in front of the cameras, and propose to Los Angeles that they accept this awesome opportunity and responsibility to lead the charge in feeding the world and making sure everyone is fed, starting with Los Angeles. But really, we're starting simultaneously all over the place. We're not saying, hey, you don't have to wait until November, please. If you're ready today, start today. And of course, many organizations are already feeding people. So this is as much an opportunity to bring together existing organizations and volunteers, who, if we don't include them, might be like, well, hey, what the heck? Who are these new kids on the block saying that they're going to do everything when I've been doing this for 25 years in my community? So let's be very programmatic and systematic about inviting everyone and saying it's time for all the feeding organizations in the world to come together on this, right? So that we all do this together.
My function is not working. Sorry to interrupt real quick. Briefly, can I put in a plug for one of our possible sponsors for no animal byproduct chips, tortilla chips? These are by Hacienda Mexican Foods out of Detroit, Michigan. They distribute in 11 states. These would be great with the stew, the chips with the stew. But there are no animal byproducts, cholesterol free, no palm oil, etc. So they're a great product, great company. And with anybody's okay, I will check with them whether they can furnish chips for at least 11 state region around here for all of our distribution centers through Meyer stores, big chain called Meyer, Meijer. Thank you. Just putting that out there before I forget. Thank you.
Yeah. Please write all these down, Michael. Keep a list of all those, and you have an automatic yes to contact all suitable vegan companies. And I'm glad that you mentioned palm oil, because does a plant-based food that has palm oil, is that truly vegan? These are some of the important questions that are being addressed. But anyway, please definitely write all those down and reach out. And welcome, Kurt. And welcome back, Julian. Welcome, everyone. We're in the middle of a great conversation. We're recording. This is our Food Healers segment. Marco has his hand up, followed by Sarah. Go for it, Marco.
Just real quick, when BJ brought up the farmer asking for help, work on the farm, we can accomplish two things at the same time there, maybe even three, but two for sure. Homeless people working on the farm, now depending on the size of the farm, whatever, and in most agricultural states, they have zoning that allows for building of living space for migrant workers that relaxes the codes and makes it easier, cheaper to allow, sanitary and sleeping conditions that are good for the farm workers. So that would eliminate a certain amount of homeless people if they could be volunteers on the farm and have a place to stay too. That's one more aspect of how we can weave these things together. And with that, I pass the talking feather.
Beautiful, beautiful. Love it. Both for farms and community gardens, of which we can build a lot more. And Sarah has her hand up. Go for it, Sarah.
Hello. I'm really happy to see everyone here, as I said before. And I wanted to ask Dr. Rao, what are you going to be doing in respect of the current events that are coming up in Los Angeles? Are you going to be coming to the press conference, or are you going to be doing it virtual? And are you going to be coming to any of I know that you just came to Los Angeles. I do know that. I just wanted to find out what your level of involvement is, since Jamin's going to be here. Are you going to be coming down to any of the events? And I appreciate you. Thank you.
Definitely, Sarah. I'm planning to come down to Los Angeles on Thursday for the press conference and to stay for the Food Healers distribution on Saturday. And then I'm going to San Francisco, and I'm trying to get a meeting with Food Not Bombs, the founder, for the November 19th project. So get him and his network involved. So, and I'm meeting with Ingrid in San Francisco as well for the Phoenix area, because I think with Ingrid on board, we can cover all the zip codes in Phoenix, because she has a really big commercial kitchen that we can use. So anyway, these are the things that I have planned. I mean, Ingrid is moving to San Francisco, so I have to go there and meet her. She used to be in Phoenix, but anyway, so that's my plan. And I'm also thinking of seeing if I can get a meeting with Steve Chu at Stanford. That's a side issue for this Citizen Science Council that we are forming. So because we want to look at the system level solutions, and Food Healers is just one aspect of it. And of course, as Jamin keeps talking about solar radiation management, which probably needs to happen because we are going to have 30 years of really hot weather if we don't deal with this correctly. Okay. And so anyway, that's on my agenda. I hope to be back in Phoenix by the 24th, the 23rd. But on Sunday, I'm going to be driving to San Francisco from Los Angeles. But anyway, I'll be there. I'm there with you, and you can put me to work. I'm happy to come and chop veggies for you for the Saturday Food Healers event.
Are you meeting with Paige Roach or other group of people here? Because I'd love to possibly obviously meet you in person, as well as to be able to give you a big hug and all that good stuff.
Oh, certainly, Kurt. I would love to meet with you because the press conference is on Thursday, so Friday is kind of open. And but I'm sure Sarah will be chopping veggies, and Sarah and Annie are going to be working for the Saturday Food Healers distribution. So I'll see. But Friday is open. I'm happy to come and meet you.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yes, BJ. Mhm.
One of the groups that people around here associated with the Texas Animal Freedom Fighters, they work with PETA a lot. And I mean, every weekend and sometimes weekdays, they are doing something, for animal rights. And I invited them all to the convergence, and I don't know if anybody came because they're out there fighting, everything like that. But so I don't know that they'll be interested in serving food. But if Ingrid Newkirk, speaking of an Ingrid, was interested, she has a big reach, and I don't know if she would want to divert them, or it's not a diversion really, but it's anyway, just that came to mind when you were bringing up Ingrid.
Thanks, BJ. Yeah, she's on my list of people to contact. There's also Food for Life Global I want to contact. So I'm trying to get to some of them in person and talk to them, and some of them I'll send personal emails
Yes.
to recruit them. But yeah, this network has to grow really big very, very quickly. Yeah, it's all of us have to come together.
Yes.
So I'm actually speaking to Vegan FTA. Vegan FTA, they're going to be speaking at the convergence. And so they're out of New Zealand, but they cover the New Zealand, Australia area. And they said they have over 1 million followers. So, and yeah, exactly. Right. So anyway, they want to help as well.
Right. And I see you have DXE founder Wayne coming on soon.
Right.
Is that Monday or Tuesday? Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yeah, I'll be interviewing him on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is the vegan community is coming together now, to make this happen. Let's. It's a vision right now, but it's about realizing this vision. And what does it mean to execute on this, right?
Yes. Yes.
And show that we are serious.
Yes, a beautiful vision and a daring one. Daring God.
All right, Jamin's up next, followed by Michael. I really want to applaud you, Silas, for bringing in the vegan community in such a big way, because it's leveraging what we already have. And the thing is, I think there's a very simple meme out there that we've been developing here and promoting a lot, which is that the fastest way to get the world to go vegan is to feed them plant-based foods. I mean, it's like one of those statements that just sounds like if you don't want to have cavities, you brush your teeth. I mean, it's just like so obvious, but it needs to be stated. And let me just give an example of this kind of message that we gave in Glasgow. So we've been promoting SRM, and then but people were thinking that, oh, you want to do that instead of decarbonization. So we came up with this message: decarbonization alone versus decarbonization with SRM. In other words, we brought the decarbonization people along with us and positioned solar radiation management as the crucial missing ingredient. So obviously no one here is saying just feed people, but the best way to get the world to go vegan as quickly as possible is to feed them plant-based foods. Join us in this movement, because there's on the order of hundreds of millions of vegans all around the world. We need something that will unite the vegan community, because my goodness, what a force, what a force. I think it could be literally the largest force on the planet, is getting all the vegans together, united around a specific cause with a specific date, with a specific objective. And who better to lead it than you, Silas, and all of us together. So couldn't be more excited. And Silas needs to go at the top of the hour. So let's give priority to Silas. Any last words? Go, take your time, Silas.
Just want to say this, it's not me leading, it's all of us leading. I mean, this is Kimaya's doing. Okay. So this is, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's a little girl who's pulling my strings all over the place. Yeah. Thank you all for being here.
If I might mention, I see a natural affinity connection with Stella McCartney. And of course, Paul's kids are such great vegans. But Stella, I'd love for us to get some outfits for the press conference of Stella McCartney wear, maybe for your daughter too, Silas. But I'm just putting it out there because I had a chance to write to Sir Paul McCartney last week. I sent him something, so he's on my mind. But that family is just so wonderful, you know. So just thought I'd mention that. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll reach out. I'll reach out to everyone I know and then have them reach out to everyone they know, and we'll get to people. Okay, definitely. Thank you. And with that, I'm going to take off.
Awesome, Silas.
Thank
Such
you.
great
Thank
stuff.
you.
Look forward to seeing you in a few days, Silas, in Los
Yeah.
Angeles.
And I'll see you this evening. I'll be back at 7 o'clock in the evening.
Awesome. Awesome.
Perfect.
We'll see you then. Thanks so much. Silas.
Thank you. We're so happy. Can't wait to get you over there cutting vegetables.
Adios. To God.
Bye.
All right. See you soon.
I get to go too.
Hey, hey guys, this is James.
Hey, James.
Hey, so I finally had a little chance. Sorry about the glare. Let me fix the blinds here. I wanted to show you what I've been working on a little bit. I'm trying to put together like a small clip of the Food Healers booth, and I have some different various shots. And so I'm going to play like a little bit. So I think I'm just going to try to get like a first draft done today, and then maybe wrap it up tomorrow early. But here's what I got so far. Just sorry for the rough. It's just my computer screen. Wait on a second. Let me render it. Sorry, it's kind of choppy.
Can you make it
Yeah,
really big or do a screen share, James? Oh, that looks really much better. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry a second.
But Jamin, we need this clip for our show tomorrow. Well, we really need it actually today to send it to Lindsay. But I was hoping to get this to Lindsay Baker for the Unchained TV, but we can use it for our website also.
Yeah, sorry, but I should have rendered it before I spoke here. Let me see if it'll do it really
The tent
fast.
looks great, Sarah. I love the green. It's really pretty.
You know what? Let's render it later. It's gonna be, well, it'll just be really choppy for now. Sorry, I didn't render it, but
Let it be choppy. Let it be choppy. I think it's the.
yeah, so we'll just play what I got. And the music is just like any music right now. We can change the music. I was trying to put some kind of inspirational music, but we may not have the music. Maybe just be a voiceover or something else, or a combination.
I'd like to get into that pot of stew a little closer with the close up of the contents of the pot. Thank you.
Yeah, I have some more of that too. So that's kind of what I have together right now. But now the last scene right here, you'll see it's the old food healers tent, but I don't know if that's okay, because I just like the beach scene there. The other scenes were the
great.
new.
Yeah, I
food
think it
healers
looks
tent.
great because it shows the different locations and I like the aerial drone view at the top showing. Now, we weren't able to use the drone at the other park because of the veteran
Yeah.
building. That sucked, but that's why we're not going there anymore, thank goodness. But what about Santa Monica when we bring that new tent there? Maybe James could come and get more, he could do the drone footage on the
Yeah.
February 26th date. Because I don't know if you can use a drone at Pan Pacific Park. And I do want to look at the Google Maps of Pan Pacific Park by the Museum of Tolerance, because I want to find out where we're going to set the tent up for this next event. Like, because I need to know how many pots of stew we need to make, because I got to go to the farmer's market tomorrow morning and on Wednesday. So I have to get my schedule together because I don't want to be making too much stew. And then we have all these extra things to deal with. But it's fine. We can give it to Ingrid. But yeah, that video looks great. I'd like to get that video over to Lindsay if possible
Okay.
today, because she's already sent us the information for the show tomorrow. Thank you.
Oh, okay. And then, yeah, I just have a lot more scenes. I have like a whole bunch of clips where you're actually serving the food. And I thought I'd show do a kind of a quick view, like serve, like 20 different serves. So you can see all the people that have been served. Let's see.
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
What else was I going to ask? Oh yeah. Did you say the 27th? I thought it was going to be on the 19th. I mean, the 26th or the 19th.
So we have from now on, starting next Thursday at the press conference on Thursday, where Dr. Rao's coming down for when we do it in DTLA on City Hall steps. We have that day. We don't need the tent that day, but I mean, it'd be awesome if we did bring the tent and did the press conference with the tent. I think we should, but whatever. And then we have Saturday at the Pan Pacific Park, we have the Food Healers feeding event. And then the following Saturday, the 26th, we have the Food Healers feeding in Santa Monica. The following Saturday, March 5th, we have the Food Healers feeding in Santa Monica. And the name of the thing is called Ocean Park Beach.
Okay.
And Jamin had sent out an email with like a little blank about that. So the fill in the blank would be Ocean Park Beach. And we have an address for that that's been on our memes. And it's anybody can go on Climate Healers Los Angeles. And we should probably change Climate Healers Los Angeles to Food Healers Los Angeles for our Facebook page, because people are confused about that. I know Dr. Rao's, we're breaking up the website like that too, but this looks great, James. And I think we should also use this for our website.
Yeah.
And we could
one
send
of
it
the
to
note is-
Stephanie.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what your interview is on Saturday, but what I was imagining is some narration of just what Food Healer is about, and like a 45-second video. Is that what you guys were thinking as well?
Yeah, I would say that the video can be just playing in the background with no music. You know, the shorter the clip, the better. Like
Okay.
that clip you just showed was perfect. I think you should definitely do the serving the stew thing, like you said, like with the 20 serves like that. So it shows
Yeah.
how much we give out. I think that's a great idea. And our interview is about Food Healers and Chef Annie V and all her stuff, because she makes raw vegan cheese. She makes all sorts of stuff, but she's the main chef for Food Healers. So we're going to talk about Food Healers. We're going to, tell them about our upcoming events. And it's great to show a clip in the background of a video that you have, and we'll just be talking over it. And Lindsay has a big screen, and she's the one that's doing the interview. So she's going to be showing it, if that makes sense. But we'll need the video for, like, Jamin will want to give it to Stephanie for the website. And we'll want to put it on our, all of our social media. So we do need to get consistent with our reach, because we are so, like Dr. Rao said, we're part of Climate Healers, yes. But we also have our separate website coming up soon. But I do want to be still part of Climate Healers, but I do want to be able to give people a way to see things about. It's hard to tell people what's going on, because when I'm talking about Food Healers, I'm telling them to go to the Climate Healers page. But at this point, that's what we're doing. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you so much. This looks great
Oh,
so
sure.
far. I just think really
Um,
appreciate that.
So what I could do is I'm also I use a project in Adobe Premiere Pro, and this project can be saved on a cloud. And so unfortunately, that's my problem, is sometimes I just my limited time. And that's why it's taking me so long to get these videos. But I was thinking I can put all the content on a shared cloud with the project, Adobe Premiere project. And if anybody who does video editing can take it over and continue editing, or use clips from it as well. Then the other thing is, so yeah, I didn't know there was a thing on the 26th. I was planning to come on the 19th, but because there's a rodeo protest on the 27th in Tucson, but I can, it's important for me to film on the 26th as well. Like on the steps of.
Well, the 26th will be Santa Monica. The 17th will be the steps of City Hall, and the 19th will be Pan Pacific Park.
Okay.
I think you should go to the rodeo protest for sure, because that makes me disgusted. I mean, they had it on TV the other day on like CBS. They literally had bull riding. I mean, it's not even, it's so awful. I mean, we know where those bulls live. We went to where they live in one place in California, and we saw them. And the only reason why they buck up like that is they put an anal prod up their butt right before they go out. It's just so sick. It's so sick. I'm so over like this whole thing. Like I can't even deal really. I really only want to do food healers right now because I really don't want to go around people, because I saw cows crying the other day, and I really can't deal right now. Like I'm so depressed today because I literally saw cows crying, and I'm so sick of people like talking about all the stuff they're serving at Super Bowl, talking about serving alligator, talking about serving 12,000 pounds of barbacoa, which is baby pig. I mean, like, I'm just disgusted by this whole humanity today, especially, I mean, I just can't stand it, seeing animals cry like that, and it's not their fault. And it's like, I just think humans are just so evil right now. I just don't even want to talk to anybody. But I appreciate you doing that video, honestly, because we do need to look credible when we're going to be on this interview, because it's our first major interview on Unchained. And so now that Jane's gone, like her stuff has gone to the mainstream, we really want to make this look professional, if that makes sense. Thank you so much. No other people have their hands raised. Melissa does.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment on the video, Sarah and James, just to maybe add something with my artist eye. What could make the video a little more enticing, let's put it that way, because all of us are in the conversation and the dialogue around food healers, but from the perspective of someone who doesn't really know who we are and what we're about, I think, like, if you look at the image behind Marco, it's very beautiful and it really draws you in. There's color, there's shape, there's form. And I think if you could maybe cut in some imagery like that, and also, I think what would do you credit and again, inspire people in is what is special about what you're doing? Well, okay, there's free food. We get that. It's plant-based. We get that. But what about the taste of it? So what I was thinking is maybe there's a way for you to put in a recipe so that people can have a takeaway as well. Like, you know, what are your ingredients? So maybe you show the farmer's market. So you have Genius Loki, you know, where the source, like a field where it's being grown with permaculture, with honeybees, get some bees in there, pollinators, you know, who's picking it? Get the migrant workers in there. So you've got connection with people of color. You've got the going to the farmer's market, get a shot of Sarah at the farmer's market. That's a huge job you're doing, Sarah. And we want to know the story. I don't hear the story here.
Right.
Then
I agree.
Sorry, I just wanted to finish and then I'm on a roll, sorry. And then you've got it going to the kitchen, being made. What kind of kitchen is it? What's the story there? What's the recipe? I want to go home and make this myself, right? Where do I get the food from? How do I make it? What's the recipe? Show the beauty of it, and then get some smiling faces. So I just think the story is missing. And I think you could do this pretty easily with some pictures, even if they're stills, just cut in and get that color. Again, look at Marco's image. I mean, that's so beautiful. I just want to jump in there and swim in that. Thank you.
Which one? Which is the one with Marcos? The Marcos image you were saying?
It's Marco Esterman. It's on my screen. It's the top right and it's got all the veggie. There you go. Thank you. for
Oh, sure,
sharing.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, to sort of tell a story like how the food is made and
So we have
So-
all that. So on our
Well,
website, if
yeah.
you go to our website, we actually have all, that's what I've been doing is posting all those pictures. So we have a picture of me and Annie and Sebastian, one of our we have pictures from last week actually, or 2 weeks ago of us. Well, yeah, and like one of the guys, Alex Weiser, he donated so much to us. And we have so many pictures of our vendors already, and we have their like signs. They're all colorful. We have all the vegetables. Every Friday night I take photos at Annie's. Like we put everything out and take loads of photos. So I think
Yeah.
that's a great suggestion. I've actually taken photos of the kitchen where I cook the stew. I have like all these like little video clips that I could send you of actual like showing the stew with the steam coming off of it. So yeah, I think like showing the cooking process is really important. So luckily we do that when we're doing the stuff, so the cooking. So I think that's great. We already have all that we could just get to you, and we don't expect you to do it today, obviously, but I do think that whatever clip we do show, we really need to make it, like Melissa said, like want them to, like, I do agree with that, because anytime we've done a live show, we have done the stew on live on Jane Unchained one time at Annie's house, and people made the stew. People were writing in the comments, oh my God, I'm going to make this. And the recipe is on our website. So we could just, get that off of there. And it's also approved by doctors. So I think that's something we could even say, because it's approved by PCRM, Physicians Committee
Yeah.
Responsible Medicine.org, PCRM.org. So I think all of that is great. And in saying, I always say it's approved by doctors, because it is. And so when people say that, it's like, oh, okay, well, it's approved by doctors, because they listen to their doctors and they eat crap. So we might as well let them know that this is really approved by doctors and it's not crap. So yeah, it's healing. I think that's great. Everything that Melissa said, I think it's really, thank you so much, Melissa.
yeah, thanks. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, of course. One other thing I think you could do at the end, just a thought, while I was listening to you, Sarah, it kind of inspired me to have this thought. You could put a heart at the end and you could do your gratitude. Thank you to Sarah, to Annie, to John, to the dog, to the Mother Earth, like just have your gratitudes. I think that's also something we all need to practice. And I think that would be good as inspiration for others to every day we wake up and we say, Hawa Gunashis, Mother Earth, thank you, Mother Earth, for all you provide us with. Thank you, Sarah, for the work you're doing. Thank you, James, for the work you're doing, etc.
Yeah, that, I agree, that would be nice. Who did the webpage? commonhears.org. I like these photos. I'm just looking at it now.
That's Stephanie, if I'm not mistaken.
She did foodhealers.org. Climate healers, I don't know who did.
Oh,
okay,
pardon me.
look at the-
Pardon me. Okay, good.
Akil or Sarah, do you know? Or
Oh, here it is.
But if I could riff on that topic briefly, I have a friend who works for the local NBC affiliate here in Detroit. He's an expert editor. He's award-winning editor. With people's approval, I will ask him to take a look at the footage and see if he can spice it up for us, so to speak. Additionally, Sarah, I would like the idea of assembling a 4 or 5 piece quartet, cello quartet to play to the cows. I heard it on my local station last night, and that's successfully done over Norway, at least Norway, if not elsewhere. But please consider producing such an event. Thank you.
We're singing to the pigs on Monday night at
I
Farmer
think that
John's. Yeah, that
you're
we're doing, we have
talking
songs for the
Bell.
pigs.
Paco Bell, I believe that's J.S. Bach, Paco Bell Cannon. Thank you.
I love that, you guys. That's so beautiful. And I'm just remembering when I was teaching art at the preschool with the kids in Seattle, we used to go to the zoo and talk and spend time and sing to the animals who were incarcerated there. Those are really important things to be doing. Thank you. Oh, I just got to tell you guys one funny story. So Jamin and I feed the birds in our area. Like we have a whole gaggle of everybody. We've got a flock of seagulls. We've got a flock of crows. We've got ravens. We got eagles. We got everybody. And when we walk around town now, when I go on my walks, I have literally a flock of birds following me, and everybody's like starting to notice, right? Because I go with my food bag and they're like landing all around my feet in the street. I kind of feel like Snow White. And the cars are stopping and the hands are being gestured up like, what's going on here? I'm really loving it, you know? So we got to keep the animal movement going. Thank you.
Just a real quick tidbit on that. I know like we have weird names for different groups of animals. I know it's like a gaggle of geese. I think a flock of seagulls is appropriate. When it comes to crows, it's called a murder of crows. I don't know how that originated, but that's a group of crows is a murder of crows.
We should use that word instead for humans, a murder of humans, because until we stop killing animals, we are characterized as killers. So, oh yeah, there's a murder of humans going to the Super Bowl. There's a murder of humans lined up at the barbacoa station at the Super Bowl, etc.
I like the one for butterflies, which is a kaleidoscope of butterflies.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, no, Jamie, you might be onto something there. That's a good, that needs to be explored a little bit.
Hey, as far as filming, the 17th, the 19th, and the 26th, like, what's the most important date for filming?
I would say probably the 17th is the single most important date, given that it's the press conference and given that we've already got a lot of great footage for the feeding events. Not that we can't do better and more and all that like we're talking about, absolutely. But the 17th is really a unique historic moment where you'll have a critical mass of us, including myself, Dr. Silas Rao, Sarah, Cesar, etc. On the steps of City Hall.
Okay. Like what time would that be starting?
I'm going to be starting singing and speaking at 10:30 in the morning. Molly Baszler is going to show up at around noon. So I would say, you know, getting there around 10 would be great, because then you can film us setting up and all that.
Okay. And then what's happening on the 19th? That's just going to be on the beach? The tent on the beach?
No. The 19th will be at Pan Pacific Park in West LA, and we'll be feeding everybody and doing music and speeches and all that. Molly Baszler will be there also. Marco is sharing a view of Pan Pacific Park.
Okay. And then 26th is going to be
in Santa Monica at Ocean Park Beach, where I think that's where we were before.
Okay.
In Santa Monica on a previous event.
Jamin, can you get live music? Like, can you get a group of young musicians together, or Sarah, for this?
Well, Darth Vader will be singing, but more musicians are welcome. Absolutely.
And also, did you see in the chat, Margot left some really interesting questions. She wants to help. I don't know if you check that out, and maybe see if someone can answer her.
Very good, very good. And meanwhile, James Desmond has his hand up. Go for it, James.
Thanks, Chairman. Hello, everyone. Yeah, I just picking up on what Melissa said there, because it is very important. the clips, the video that we saw there, obviously I know James hasn't got hadn't a chance to show us everything that he's filmed so far. But what Melissa's saying is very important, is to show the story of what Food Healers is about. So perhaps maybe not be so hasty in actually getting the video finished yet, because of the number of events that are coming up, and because of the connection between all those. If you hold off on actually getting the video edited and published yet, you already, what footage you have there now, what footage you could have with the press conference on next Thursday, and then the day before the feeding event on the 19th, I'm assuming Sarah and Chef Annie and that will be going to the market anyway prior to it, to be getting more vegetables to prepare. So if James could go do some shooting with them there at the market and the farmers, and then go back and see the preparation in the kitchen and get that shot as well, then do the Food Healers on the 19th and get some footage of that. Then with all of that combined footage, you could send that to Stephanie or whoever you choose, like, because she is qualified video editor anyway. Tell her the story. She knows the story herself anyway, what it's about. And she would be able to tell the story then in video form, in a proper formatted video form, with a lot more footage involved, like Melissa is saying. It will tell the story much better, and it will be a much better video that you can use then for advertisement purposes in the future, rather than just this one event at the moment. You'd have much more footage to tell a better story, I'd say, if you held off for the few days.
Yeah, I agree. Who's these video? Did you mention another video editor as well? What did you say? There was one more video editor?
Yes,
or-
Stephanie,
Yeah,
that's the other James, or our original James's daughter. And she works with the same program you do, the Adobe Pro.
Okay.
I believe this, Michael, I believe I mentioned my friend, James W. works for a major local station, Metro Detroit. So I will
Well,
contact
Stephanie's going to
him.
be doing the video editing because she already does the website. So
Oh,
she's
okay,
already
that's
going to,
good.
she's
No
going to go
problem.
ahead and be doing that. But thank you. I
Oh, that's
appreciate
great.
you
Sure. I
helping.
love the footage, the wonderful footage. I'm just really
Yeah, we just want
inspired
to try
by
to keep everything consistent. So it's better to just
Yeah.
keep it within, we already have Food Healers and she already knows what she's doing. So, and Dr. Rao already wants her to do it anyway. So
Well,
it's perfect.
I'm not done asking him for favors for help
Yeah.
online, however.
But thank you so much. I appreciate
Yeah,
you
sure.
even
Thank you,
reaching
guys.
out. Yeah, we
Oh,
just,
sure.
I appreciate, thank you, James. I agree with you and what Melissa said, because like I said before, we want to have something for Lindsay just to go over something for tomorrow, quick clip. But for a regular video, we do want to add all that stuff in there, of course, and go into the farmer's market. Right now, we've been taking pictures and stuff, but we haven't been videoing because we don't have enough hands because we're carrying stuff. So it'd be great if we had somebody like Jamin when he comes into town. If you did come Tuesday, Jamin, you could come Wednesday with me to Santa Monica Farmers Market and film, because that's when me and Chef Annie go to get everything on Wednesday. That's when we go to get all the stuff like the tomatoes and everything, which I do need to call Scott Balick this morning and make sure that he can give us live tomatoes. Because see, we also have to go to the farmer's market every week now, because if we have 3 events in a row, we have to get food every single time. So that's something that I have to, have people going with me. I can't just go by myself. So I have to ask Chef Annie, can you go with me every single Wednesday? And then while you're there, Jamin, you could come with me on Sundays to Beverly Hills Farmers Market and you can meet them personally. And like I said, I just can't go by myself to do all this. I don't mind doing it by myself, but we're not going to get enough food if I just go by myself. We have to have more people come into the market to pick up the food. So yeah, and John's mom passed away, so I'm not going to be asking him right now because he's having to deal with that.
Yeah, real quick, James Madison had the very good idea of getting everything up on the cloud so that Stephanie has access to it, like all the pictures you've taken in the past and video. Sarah, if you can work with James to get that uploaded to a cloud project, that I think that would, everything you already have is already enough to make some, to edit together to make a beautiful story.
I would just add that if you want to really get a proper quality video anyway, it would be a lot easier if it's all been filmed or from the one camera, because James will understand this. Like if it's taken from different cameras, there's tends to be different color. You have to fix all the coloring and everything in it to make sure that it all blends properly and looks professional. Like so, I'm assuming James will be doing all the videoing, and if he could get some, as I said, get more shots at the market and the preparation of the food and everything, I think Melissa's idea of telling the story is a great idea with the video. Like having it could be used over and over again.
Yeah, and actually, I would like to get together with Stephanie and ask her about what is her preferred color profile. Like, so on my camera, I'm shooting, like a different profile that allows me to get more dynamic range. And then, I wanted to talk to her about that because I can shoot in log or hybrid log, different formats. Yeah, it's actually, I agree, it takes a long time. Sometimes when you have different cameras, but yeah, you definitely spend a lot of time correcting all the color and trying to get everything to match each other. But sometimes if the footage is on a really good newer iPhone and it's super stable, or even if it's not too stable, it's still fixable as well. You can stabilize the footage afterwards if it's not too shaky.
Yeah, she won't have a problem with it. She actually just edited some footage there from that was done for an organisation here in Ireland with young kids and community organisations, young learning rapping and things, and they combined it. They wrote a song, and there was a number of kids all over the world then sang different lines of the song, and they videoed it themselves on their own different mobile phones and everything else. So obviously all the footage, the background, the lighting was wrong, the colouring was different on a lot, but that was her job, and she blended it all to look like as if it was all shot from one camera. So she's well able to do it, and they were well pleased with it. So even if it is shot from a few different cameras, it's not a problem. It just makes it a little longer to manage, as you know yourself, James. But the more footage she has to work with, the better, I suppose.
Yeah, and I just connected you via email, James, Madison, and Stephanie, and I copied you, James, Desmond.
Great.
No, but Stephanie actually has just been diagnosed with COVID this morning.
Oh, sure.
And her sister and possibly the child as well. But it's only a mild form so far, and they seem to be okay. She's just staying away from me now at the moment. But I have to test now because she was here yesterday, so I'm going to have to test for the next 3 days as well. But yeah, it's a mild form. It's not a problem. It's not a biggie. She's well vaccinated. She's well up to date with all her vitamins and everything anyway because of her IVF coming up and everything. But the point is, it was inevitable. We're all going to get it sooner or later anyway. It's only going to pass through like a flu. I have some underlying issues I have to watch, but I mean, sooner I get it and get over it, the better as well anyway. So not a biggie. I'll keep you informed on that.
All right, our prayers are with Stephanie and her sister and your whole family, James. Take good care. All righty, and Michael has his hand up. Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, our best to you and your family, James, and your daughter and her family. So all the best. Practically speaking about the press conference, my friend Bill Jenkins, I really want to connect him to the project because he's a great film, video, sound person, number one. Number two, he's an excellent musician, plays piano. Third, he is a very good comedic actor. So he'd be worth bringing on board. What I did was I provided you, Jamin, his phone number. If you don't mind giving him a call, it might be worth doing. I think he's a real good guy, and he might be good to hang out with anyway. He knows the town real well, and he knows everybody in the business. So I wanted to mention that practically. Sorry, that's a little inside baseball for everybody. Sorry, but I wrote that down on my list. I'm staying with my list, trying to stay within the parameters. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for doing that. All righty. Well, what an awesome food healers session this is. And in terms of, yeah, the entertainment industry, one of the reasons we've focused on Los Angeles is it is the media and entertainment and trend setting capital of the world. And we want to make this the major trend of the world. Saving, healing, and transforming life on Earth, starting with Love All, Feed All and SRM. It's time. If we don't do both of these, we're going down the tubes really, really fast. I don't mean to be negative about that. I want to be positive about it, but we also need to be real about how urgent this is. This isn't like an optional nice to have, you're getting a new car, a sunroof is optional. It's a nice to have. You're not going to die if you don't have a sunroof, right? But these are not optional, right? So
heated steering wheels are all the rage, but you don't absolutely have to have heated steering wheels. Do you?
All right. Well, passing the talking feather. It's really great to hear from everyone and co-create this all together. All right, passing the feather.
I think what Sarah said earlier as well, that it probably would be nice to have some food at the press conference as well, given that you're going to be talking about it. It probably, that would be a good idea to even have some prepared food like that you could pass out as an example to what you're talking about.
Yeah, that would require some setup and some volunteers and all that. Sarah, I won't be down until Wednesday night, arriving in LA, since I'm driving down, and I'm leaving here on Tuesday morning because I have to be here on Monday here on Whidbey. But anyway, yeah, that would definitely be an awesome kind of nice to have. But anyway, I'll leave that up to Sarah. We certainly don't want to overload Sarah. She's doing so much and has done so much.
I would say like that, given how we want the event to be really make it an impact and everything else. And I know now I'm talking about at the expense, but rather than having everyone that's volunteering have too much on their hands, could always maybe approach a vegan, a vegan restaurant that does catering and ask them for a lot of finger food and just pay out just that once to have a stall full of finger food there, or vegan finger food. They might even give you a big a discount because you're coming back to them again with more business or something like that. Like throw it that way to them, like, or you could give them advertisement and they might give you the food for free or something. But rather than do the work yourselves and just saying approach a few vegan restaurants and ask them for some donations for it, you're actually advertising their business anyway, really, in a sense.
We could just make one pot of stew and that would be enough. Like one pot of stew would be enough. Actually, that just reminded me, I need to order the bamboo spoons for the stew. I need to do that right now. Okay.
Just a quick point for that, and then we'll go to Chip, is that when we did a Google Earth to look at what City Hall looks like, right across the street, there were, and just down a little bit, were many houseless tents set up and people living there. So there's people that will definitely appreciate it if you have it there. And with that, I pass the talking feather to Chip.
Hey, so this is a very different topic, but it came up a little bit earlier. But just in terms of my job and what kind of social media presence Climate Healers wants to have, how are you guys going to try to start your own page, or do you want all of your announcements to keep coming from the Climate Healers page? Like how do we want to do that? Like how involved do you guys want to be with the Climate Healers social media pages?
I will defer to Sarah on that because she knows a lot more about social media than I do. But I would say, goodness, the more that we can get the word out, the better. And through the more channels, the better. Absolutely. Sarah gave me a thumbs up to that.
I mean, I don't really understand the question because we already have a website called foodhealers.org. It is part of Climate Healers. However, we're going to have our own site. That's why Dr. Rao reached out to Stephanie about creating the microsite. And we already have Climate Healers Los Angeles Facebook page. And we have Climate Healers Instagram, which I don't have any control over that. But we want to make sure that we stay within Climate Healers, but also Food Healers. So I'm not sure how to do that, but right now it's too overwhelming to do too much social media, because like having to manage Climate Healers Los Angeles social media, plus it's just a lot for one person to do. I don't really, I just post the photos and post the events. I'm really not a social media person, as in like, I've just been doing this local social media, but we're going to need main social media, like worldwide social media, if that's what you're getting at. Yes.
Yes,
Thank you.
that is what I'm getting at. Thank you for that perspective. That's why I'm here. And my question is, are you guys wanting to start an Instagram specifically for Food Healers? That's what I'm asking. And if not, we can just try to promote everything through the main Climate Healers account too. We just want to find a way to do it without like overwhelming people. That's all.
Yeah, because there's not a Food Healers, there's already a Food Healers Instagram account, and it's not us. So it doesn't make sense to do another, because I already manage like 7 or 8 Instagram accounts, and I'm just not going to manage one more Instagram account. And that's really the God honest truth. There's no way. I'm already feeling under the weather today, and I'm already worried, like, do I have COVID again? Do I have a sinus infection? What's going on? So I don't even want to, I'm only focused on going to get all the veggies, all the food, and all the stuff to serve everybody. And really all that other stuff has to be like second, like that would be somebody else's department, really, if you want to know the truth. But thank you.
Yeah, Sarah,
Yes, I'm saying that
let's
would be my
reintroduce. Let's reintroduce you, Chip. He's worked with Silas in the past, and he's here specifically to help us with social media. That's his thing.
Yes, I'm not
Okay,
asking
thank you. I
anyone to
didn't
pick up
realize
any extra
that.
work.
Yeah. Why don't everybody rename themselves and put what their title is or whatever. It's not like we have titles. I'm just saying, like in Toastmasters, we do this so that we know what's going on. Like who's the grammarian, who's the counter, who's the timer, who's a speaker, who's evaluator. It's like, that way we know, like Chip, and you could say social media, Climate Healers, then we know, oh, but yeah, I appreciate you guys just keep reposting stuff and just looking at the Climate Healers Los Angeles Facebook page. And we really need help making our meme for the next event. So if you wanted to make the meme for the next event, that would be great. And Jamin could give you all the information. Like we need a meme for our press conference. We need a meme for our February 19th Food Healers. Haven't got that out to anybody yet. We need it for 26, March 5th. So we definitely need help for sure. Thank you.
Yeah, so Jamin, I'll put my email in the chat, and if you could send me the calendar for all the events coming up and which ones you guys still need graphics for, I can get to work on that.
That would be awesome, Chip. Absolutely. Here, I'll put my email in the chat, and I'll also, if you're cool with it, I'll add you to our email list for all of these meetings, so a heads up for them. I usually send them out the night before via email. And awesome. Thank you, Chip.
Great. I'll reach out to you today for that stuff, and just take your time whenever.
Okay, I'll forward you the email from last night, which has all the details, except for the name of the beach on the 26th, which is Ocean Park Beach. I'll just put that in the chat right here, right now. And that's in Santa Monica. And
well, Ocean Park Beach actually has an address. We've given the address before on our meme. So if you go look at any of our stuff on Climate Healers Los Angeles, you can get the address and get the correct information. Because if you just put Ocean Park Beach without the address, it's not going to really work. We need to have the address. the same thing with Pan Pacific Park, because she said it's gonna be on, so I said, let's do it on the Menard side. And she's like, no, we're gonna do it on the Museum of Tolerance side. I'm like, okay, fine. Well, I don't even know what that side looks like or what the address is. So that's why I was asking you to show an aerial map today. Just, she said there's gonna be more foot traffic over there. I'm like, that's fine. Just, like I said, it doesn't matter where we put the tent. We just need to make sure that we get the address right so people can come to the right area.
All right. If anyone can find that address and put it in the chat, I'd sure be grateful, because then we can get it into the main email, the main content. So the address for Ocean Park Beach, apparently it's up on the social media for Food Healers. And Gabrielle, welcome back. All right, Chip, so grateful for what you're taking on. Thank you so much. That's just
Thanks.
awesome.
Yeah, I'll do what I can. And then Jamin, you and I could just keep talking in the future about how much we can help each other.
Yeah.
I might mention to Chip, my friend J Love is successful on Snapchat. She's got quite a presence on Snapchat. So I took down your email address. I'm going to give it to my associate named J Love. Jesus is her name. And just wanted to mention that she may contact you regarding doing some promotion on Instagram, cross promotion. Thank
Great.
you.
That's awesome. Thanks.
Sure. She's got 10 million Snapchat viewers. Thank you.
Just a quick question for Chip, since social media seems to be your thing there. Is Snapchat, is that something adults are really involved with, or is that more, I remember it as like a teeny bopper thing when my daughter was 13.
Yeah, so it definitely skews younger. It's primarily used as a messaging app, but now that they've added subscription services, you can subscribe to different influencers, I guess, and they can post stories for anyone to see. And there's also a small news section on the app now, and so a good amount of young people get at least some part of their news from that app. But yeah, overall the demographic tends to skew pretty young.
Awesome. Thanks, Chip. That's gives me a good idea of where we're standing there. Thank you.
We need some American film footage of Sarah's group arranging for a quartet playing to a group of cows out in the pasture and film that. We need the American film. I understand that it's happening in Norway. Thank you. Not sorry about all our international friends for that.
Jamin, are you gonna bring up that screenshot? And Julian wrote a message saying that he can volunteer and help. Also, you might want to get in touch with Julian when you get to LA. So he's gonna give him, yeah, he messaged me. He's here on this call.
Yeah.
He said he can help us, and especially on that Saturday where we're gonna be two different events simultaneously. We're gonna need a lot of help down where you guys are, where Molly is, on that Saturday. Yeah, that'd be the most help we need.
Oh yeah, and speaking of Saturday, Sarah, I don't know if you got my message yesterday, but would you be good enough to coordinate directly with Molly so that the two of you can reach an agreement as to exactly where in Pan Pacific Park for Saturday?
Well, I did try to talk to Molly about that. And I said, let's do it on where we had Nard. And then she's like, no, we're going to do it over by the Museum of Tolerance. And I was like, okay. but I don't know where that is. That's why I was asking if you could pull that up so we could look at it. So you
Oh,
could see yourself.
oh, yeah,
You're
yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
going there, aren't you?
Of course, of course, of course.
You would, don't you want to know where to go?
Well, well, yeah, and that's hence my question. My question and my request is that we finalize exactly where it's.
Well, I mean, Molly could come onto this meeting and we could work on it, but like I said, I'm at this meeting, I'm trying to do it. I talked to her, she basically said, we're gonna do it here, and I was like, okay. Like I said, I mean, there's nothing I can do. I'm not gonna change the location because I'm only gonna be there at the, you know, I'm doing all the prep work for it, but I'm not gonna be at that location for 2 hours because I'm gonna be up at the dairy demo with all the volunteers, bringing them down to food healers.
I'm on the page. I'm trying to find the address for the site for Museum of Tolerance. Thank you.
Here, I've got the map pulled up. Let me
Okay.
let me share it right now. I'm gonna pause recording so we can work out logistics, and then I'll resume recording. Somebody remind me once we have it worked out.